Hello and welcome back with another The Orville episode reaction. Today we're going to talk about or react on the latest 9th episode of the series, Cupid, Dagger. Well, this episode was really awkward and interesting and funny, and it was just like a missing piece from Ed and Kelly's relationship. The story starts out in the mess hall where the crew actually has a recreational karaoke party, which is quite interesting, seeing Kelly singing, and then Bortus comes along and he wanted to sing the Titanic song, and that was a bit awkward. I don't know actually if I would say thank God, but I would love to listen to Bortus singing, well, not Where My Heart Will Go, but something else. So Bortus being cut off by a radio signal that actually comes from Admiral Halsey. Now, if you remember, Admiral Halsey appeared in the first episode of the series. So basically the Admiral signs off Kelly and Ed to help to negotiate between a peace treaty between the Navarians and the Bruidians? Yes, Bruidians. They assigned this blue guy, and as it turned out, this blue guy called Derulio, he is a archeologist who actually been assigned to the ship to help the situation. Obviously that caused an instant problem because that's basically the ghost from the past. Obviously because Ed didn't really like the guy because he hooked up with Kelly, and Kelly wasn't really happy either because that reminded of her mistake too. So intriguing. Derulio was an interesting character, to be honest, because he felt awkward in a way as well, because, you know, working with his ex-hookup partner plus with his ex-hookup partner's ex-husband, that created a little bit of attention at the beginning. And that turned a little bit with the physical interaction between them. As it turned out later on, the Derulio species is a sexually more active, and they can actually channel their feelings and their pheromones to other species, and they actually can make their mind going nuts and, you know, do all sort of sexual desires that they desire. And as long as Derulio was around, then he basically generated this whole feeling, and he was in heat. He heated up Kelly and even Ed as well. Well, at the first time when Kelly went down to the lab and was talking with Derulio, like, okay, I don't really want to, you know, to have this assignment and this situation causing a problem between us and between her and Ed. And that was really mature from Kelly, you know, going down and facing with her own past in a way, and telling to Derulio, like, okay, I worked on my and Ed's relationship ever since we are not together, but, you know, it has to be like this way, and we have to maintain this good relationship between us. And although in the other hand had a really different way to react to the whole situation. He was pissed off from the very beginning, and he didn't really like the fact as Kelly's ex hookup partner was on the ship. Well, it's kind of understandable when you've been cheated once, and the guy who actually cheated with your wife comes aboard and, you know, try to be happy. It was understandable from both sides, but on Kelly's defense, actually Ed hooked up with Priya in a couple of episodes before, so I think they are even now. So basically the same thing happened in the Orville that happened in Ed's and Kelly's house. So basically Kelly was together with Derulio, and what happened? I was really surprised on Ed though, because he went down to the cargo bay to greet the delegates from the two sides, and he really put everything together. He really put everything in one place. I mean, there was no question he was a strong character, he was a strong captain in that moment. And going forward, a lot of strange things started to happen, and even stranger things. Did you see what I just did there? So there was a point when Ed actually went down to the lab and started to talk with Derulio, and I didn't know what to think about the whole situation. Ed basically started to flirt with Derulio. He actually got an interaction with Derulio again, and he became obsessed with Derulio. He actually felt a desire towards Derulio, which made another interesting question, like, are actually he's into him? And later on in his quarter, when he had this little chat with Malloy, basically it turned out, okay, Ed actually into Derulio. I was thinking if that gonna happen, that happened, and that actually happened. So basically Ed and Derulio ended up in bed together, which is not a problem. I mean, Ed actually said, you know, why you want to put everything in boxes, and why you want to label everything, and why the box just can't do its own thing. I consider myself a really open-minded guy, but I don't think I would need more blue in my life that I have at the moment up here. At the end, obviously, Derulio explained everything, and he was in heat, and they had a really interesting discussion as well, when actually Kelly asked Derulio, like, okay, when we met the first time, you were in heat, and Derulio just said, Well, maybe. I do feel in a way Kelly and Ed will work this out in a way, and they might gonna get back together. There you go, we're talking about relationships in the Orville. Technology might change in 400 years, but relationships doesn't. Well, not to get too much personal here, but I know exactly how it can feel actually when you meet someone from the past. I mean, we've been together for quite a while, and you know, something happened to another person or some personal issues. So in a way it's really challenging and quite hard actually to face your past and face the ghost from the past, with a manner of speaking. And I think this is what the Orville does really well. I mean, we have this basic normal human quality into the show, apart from the science bit, and it's really interesting to see actually personal growth and personal relationships actually bonding and forming and merging together. And so it's really interesting to see that side of a sci-fi show, and I think the Orville does a really good job to portray everything that actually going on our life, plus, you know, still showing us an optimistic future. We do have to talk about two more things. Well, three actually. Well, first of all, Claire and Japhet. Well, Claire and Japhet is an interesting thing because, you know, Japhet was always hitting on Claire, and Claire always denied Japhet, but because of this whole pheromone thing, actually she ended up, well, you know, happened what happened. We got to see the boys again, that I was really happy for. I mean, seeing the kids again, they were really fabulous in the previous episode, and all of you, if you're out there, just honestly, good job on that. The one person who actually had a really interesting and good character growth in this episode, that was Alara. Alara, ever since the beginning, she has a really good growth in the show. So I really enjoy seeing her growing and becoming a more complex and more self-confident person. So well done, Alara, you growing up quite well. The two races was really refreshing as well, and it was really interesting to see them, and they not necessarily liked each other, so that was interesting. And obviously we got to see a second starship that I was actually talking about in my expectation for season 2 video, and I was really happy to see the Olympia. That was a smaller ship with two warp quantum drive. So yeah, overall the episode was really cool. I really enjoyed watching the part, and as I said, it had a bit of a personal touch as well, because obviously relationships happening in every one of our lives, and I'm pretty sure if we're not being cheated on, but we got, you know, lost in a way, so we can kind of relate to this episode and we can relate to this aspect. One thing that I almost forgot to mention is the guy in the elevator. Being in the elevator, and you know, he actually suggested to Ed and Kelly, like, you know, we could actually use some music in this elevator, and they did. So now we have music in the elevator on board the Orville, so what else you can ask for? So that was my little episode reaction about the 9th episode of the Orville, Cupid Daggers. Please let me know in the comment section below what did you think about the episode, what was your favorite or least favorite moment, and let's start a discussion. I really enjoyed myself watching it, and the Orville is still, for me, is the number one kick-ass show in 2017, and especially after watching the last episode from Star Trek Discovery, this was a really refreshing experience. As always, thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like and share the video, and don't forget to subscribe to receive all the geekiness every week. And until next time, live long and prosper.